Well, that was a little bit dirty and a little bit fast and furious to film, but I can show you what we did. So this cabin right here has its septic line running all the way down the driveway here into a clean out right here, and then it goes from there into a tank right over that big piece of concrete slash rock is the edge of the tank. And because it's so far from there to here and the pipe doesn't have much slope on it, it's now been 2021 was the last text I had to the septic company when I replaced this whole septic line. But of course, at the time, I didn't know that, you know, just replacing the line wasn't really going to fix the problem, because that cabin and that toilet is at a particular height, and the pipe is at a particular height, and this septic tank that's all old is at a particular height, and I can't get any more height out of that. I can't change the toilet height, and I can't change the tank, so there's just not much flow from that far to up here. So it hasn't been touched since 2021. When I did this, I put the clean outs in. Thankfully, I put the clean outs in because there didn't used to be any clean outs. There's a clean out here and there's a clean out right over. Now, all of my toilets have a clean out right outside the wall. It's maybe ugly to look at. Maybe you got plants or something around your yard or your house or your cabin or whatever it is. But anybody that is building, I highly, highly recommend give access right outside. You don't have to go in. I don't have to bother the guests. I can basically come out here and look real quick. I can just unscrew that lid, which I had my neighbor do this morning without bothering the guests or having to go in there. Just come over here this morning and unscrew that, and as she started to unscrew it, water was coming out, which tells me that it's backed up not at the toilet here, it's backed up down somewhere. So I also had her go down to the clean out down there and open that one, and that one she could see, quote, mud at the bottom of that piece of pipe. It wasn't mud. So that told me it was clogged up all in here, and I needed more help than just a plunger would do. So I got on the phone. It's two brothers that run their own truck, and they just happen to be in my area, which is 45 minutes from where they live. Hugely, hugely, hugely lucky, because yes, so they were here just under an hour. Yes, and they saved my bacon. So you want to know what they did? Here's what they did, and here's two tools I'm going to buy based on them coming here and fixing me so quick. One is a fifth wheel pin puller. Google that, or and it's got a little handle on it. And what they were able to do, like right here at this clean out, I'll show you this one. It goes down there, you know, I don't know, 2 feet or so. They're able to just stick this hook down there and hook stuff and pull it out, like the toilet paper and the yuck. They were able to just keep hooking and pulling and kind of pull the whole plug out from there. Since I have a clean out at that end, they were also able to put a garden hose at that end and run water down while they were pulling that. And then of course they had their great big vacuum truck, which hooked up and vacuumed the stuff out. If this were me fixing it, I don't have the vacuum truck. So the other tool is, I'll put a link down below. They showed me on their phone. I'll have to, it's a bulb. You hook a garden hose up to it. You feed the garden hose down as far as you can into the pipe. Then this inflates, fills up with water. It's like a balloon. And then it's got a high pressure water jet out the end. So you can just fish that down your pipe and then turn the water on, and it's going to fill up and inflate and fill the pipe and then shoot a jet of water that way out the end. So between that, being able to shoot the water and work on the plug from the one end, and a hook puller that I could either reach into this clean out or into the tank itself to pull any plugs or clogs out there. That's about the best I can do. So there you go. There's a quick update, and there's 2 tools for anybody else that might be living where you can't get septic help. Those are 2 tools I'm going to buy to help me fix clogs. We're definitely not hardcore here. This is getting serious today. Welcome to Drone Rescue Part 3. First time might have been the time it got lost and I looked for it. We'll count that as 1. Then I stopped here again without another drone, just looking underneath this tree right behind me. Drone recovery take 2 is a failure. So now we have a new drone. We sent the new drone up, and I can't see it anywhere stuck in the tree. So we're now, I think, about ready. We've got gloves, we got glasses. We're gonna go kind of bushwhack underneath. It's kind of steep, not a cliff or anything, just steep embankment. We're gonna go bushwhack down there and see if we can't rescue a drone. So, should we go for a little tromp? Okay, let's go. So if anybody's lost a drone before, as I now have, here's what I can tell you about losing one. There's a setting on it that you can make it beep and flash lights if it's lost. That's pretty cool. So I was able to confirm with that. I could at least hear beeping all the way up in this tree that we're gonna go look around. But I was never able to get visual confirmation of where it was up that tree. I tried climbing the tree. I got not too far off the ground because it kind of, there's an embankment right down here, and I got scared, and so I climbed back down and said, nope, a few $100 drones, not worth that. So there's the tree. I got up in there somewhere, and I could still hear it. You know, I mean, it's gonna be up there somewhere. It's gonna be near the top. I was trying to bring the drone back from filming those awesome cliffs over there. And all these other trees I was over the top of because it drops down so steep, but this one bugger, I just, as the drone was pulling back with a cool, you know, wide view, I backed right into the tree. Okay, you guys holler if you see a drone, okay? A white drone, it shouldn't be too hard to see. So, here's the second thing I was going to tell you. If you do lose a drone, it makes noise and flashes. That's the first step to see if you can actually retrieve the drone. If it turns out you ain't getting that drone back, but you can still communicate with it, you can connect to it, and you can download your images from the drone. I spent about an hour here, because that was the biggest thing I was bummed about, is the Oregon trip I did. Look back in videos for that one. All the footage was on that drone. So that's what I was most bummed about. A few $100 drone, yeah, but all the footage that was on that, whatever, 256 gig card, that's what I was bummed about. So I spent about an hour here connected to the drone, and I was able to pull just about everything off. So those are 2 things to keep in mind. Lost drones. First, try to find it with the beeping and the noise app in there. And second, if you can't, but you can still connect to it, at least maybe you can pull off some of the stuff. This is the exact reason Fern's not in many videos, because she's all over the place and she's not privy to the camera. She's not just like hanging out waiting to be seen. She's busy, nubbing around following that nose. We should hopefully train her to sniff out drones is what I'm thinking. That's the next I need a drone sniffing dog. But this was a good stop anyway. We made coffee. Fern's obviously getting a little bit of exercise. Bathroom break. And now we got maybe another... Oh! You're not gonna believe what... Oh! Bam! Okay, so it took a tumble. It took a tumble out of there. Ooh. Oh yeah. We got it! I mean, it doesn't look good. It's got a broken leg. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at how... Do you guys see what I'm looking at? Look at how close we are to losing that CF card. Oh my gosh. Are you guys knowing how old I am? I don't know if they have CF cards anymore. I mean... Like, it's just about ready to pop completely out of there. So, we're going to go put all this in the camper, dry it out real good, because this has had a good month in the rain and wet. So I'm not expecting it to work. But I am super psyched to find it. And I'm going to show you guys the infamous cliff that cost us that drone just about. But we got it back, baby. Go! That's the girl. Same rock from last time, Fern? Here's our rock from last time. I'm not sure where the rock from last time is. So we'll use another one. Stuff go everywhere. Not too bad. Not too bad. Oh. Left the drone stuff up there. That's never good. Don't leave stuff on the counter when you're driving. I'm surprised that all that stuff stayed there. First, let's get some heat going. So since I just drove here, let me use some more light. I will flip on the inverter. I'll show you how I did this. That's pretty much how that goes. And we just have a little space heater. So for now, I think that's going to be it for tonight, and let's check in the morning and see if we can't get on that adventure. Okay, let's do that. Well, good morning. We're here. Where's here, you might ask? The spot for the next adventure. And we're going to start with this adventure, and it's going to start with a creek crossing or river crossing. So let's gear up for that, throw some stuff in the pack, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about what we're going to do. Got the boots, We'll put around the neck. Got the dog, got some water, got some bars. I won't film this part because I don't think you need to see my feet, but imagine me taking my socks off, sticking them in my pocket, and then we're gonna start the walk. Got it? That probably would have been what a real YouTuber would have done. Send the drone up, check it all out, and then see if it's worth this freezing cold feet in the walk. But where's the adventure in that? I'm thinking maybe half an hour. I picked a spot, there's cliffs like over here, pretty much along a good section of it, and then it's gone. I might say it's an aqueduct. You can see in a couple places some old wood. Like it might have been built out of wood at one time, or wood supports. Now I see there's a big piece of pipe up here. I don't know if it's still in use or not. But it kind of disappears. Once you go down around this point and around the corner, you don't see it on the hillside anymore. So I don't know if they bored through the mountain with the water. I don't know if the water, I don't see how it can go uphill and go up and over. So I got a lot of questions, and as soon as these feet dry, we're gonna go check that out and get some answers. Okay, so let's get the shoes loaded in the pack here, and then I think we can carry on. So you can see maybe the pipe up on the hill there. That's what we want to go check out. Paint can or coffee can maybe? Two barrels. One barrel tossed off. Empty. Here's another barrel. Something lubricant. Oops. Maintenance costs. So lubricant. A lot of lubricant. So I wonder what they were. I wonder if they were drilling up here. I see something looks like a half circle over there. Oh, there's some wire. That's good galvanized wire. Like that's perfect for, you know, covering up, you know, eaves on your house or somewhere. Keep the birds out. Somebody tossed a shovel. So I think a perfectly good shovel. That's cool. I totally know this temper. Oh no, what's it say? Feather? Oh, featherweight. Tempered. Made in USA. It's got number 2 on it. That's a nice shovel. But boy, that's a great piece of pipe. You know, like you need to mount a Starlink antenna. Or something. Yeah, that's a nice long piece of pipe. Oh, this is loose. This is loose to scramble up. Well, we made it. Not too bad. Little bit of bushwhack to get up here. We got the trusty shovel. Found a can of spray paint. Yellow. Not that old. So people do maintain this, and this answers the question. There's definitely water running through here. Built this over the top of it in some areas, maybe where they have Oh, lots of stuff falling out of the trees, perhaps to keep it out of the water. Because now I can see things like, you know, some old kind of mortar mix. You know, they might have done repairs to this, you know, maybe in the off season they come up here. You know, I gotta imagine this concrete thing has to crack over time. You know, because, I mean, look at the earth that you got trying to get downhill moving. And you got this thing built right along the edge of, you know, almost a cliff. And I know it does cliff out in some areas, and I can't see this thing when I'm driving, but now that I know it, you know, whether or not I can see it, I know it's going to exist, because this water's not just going to stop all of a sudden. Boy, I don't know how far or how long this whole thing is, but I'll tell you what, this is quite a feat to build this. But it's pretty impressive to be way up here on the side of this hill, looking at all this concrete and all this water flowing. It's cold. Real cold. Good girl. I know you don't like it. Good girl. Come on. Come on. She doesn't like this metal grate walking down boat ramps either. So yeah, this is constructed with two big I-beams under there that are probably, I don't know, 10 by 30 inches. Good girl. Good girl. Come on, almost done. Almost done. Come on. You know, might kind of freak her out looking under there. Okay, so this is a fascinating story. There's a gentleman behind me, I won't say his name, but he's a worker here that gets to live up at the end of this thing, right where it comes out of the lake. And he does 6 days a week. He walks 5 miles a day patrolling this thing and inspecting it for leaks. That guy just had so many fascinating stories that I'll probably have to sit down to tell you all of it. But yeah, there's him and one other guy that maintain this thing and walk the whole thing every day when it's flowing through full of water. He was telling me stuff he's found up here. Stuff he sees every day. He keeps a motorcycle down at this end and then his truck at this end, and every day he drops off his motorcycle and he walks the thing to his motorcycle and buzzes back to his truck, and that's his day. So he had, good girl, he had gaiters on to protect from snakes. He's seen a few already this year, which kind of surprises me. He's got 103 snakes last year, and he is now, he said this year he's going to let them repopulate along the canal because he wants them eating some of the little, he had a word for them, kind of like gophers and things that are undermining this canal and burrowing underneath there. So I asked him a whole bunch of questions. I probably talked to him for 20 minutes. I asked him about patrolling this if he had winters off. He patrols this all winter, every day. They have a a buggy that they actually drive in these canals when it's empty, and that's how they do all the repair work. He blasts the rock out of the way. You know, when there's a rock slide or something that takes out this canal, he's the same guy that rebuilds it. That they've got, anyway, yeah, 2 buggies that can drive down here. One buggy holds all their cement and mortar mix. And so, yeah, they pretty much got 2 weeks. I think he said from November 15th is when they start patching it, and they've got till November 22nd to get it all done and get it all patched for the winter. And yeah, then they cruise this thing every day all winter. He what did he say? There's 8 deer he saw dead in here, 1 bull elk, 7x7 that was snapped at the back of the neck by a cougar. Said it's the biggest cougar tracks he had seen. Yeah, he's seen, obviously, all 8 deer that he's seen dead or all had cougar tracks around them. So he said so far the activity this year has been pretty high. He was carrying a gun. But what a fascinating person to talk to. He gets housing with his job to up there. His wife and kids and everything live in a provided house. This goes 12 miles and ends in the Titan Reservoir. He even said it's pressurized through the hills in some spots, the water is. And right now it's half full, it's flowing at 150 CFS, cubic feet per second. And yeah, and then this fills up a reservoir, the Titan Reservoir at the other end. And then from that reservoir, that's how then they irrigate the orchards. He had even talked about this concrete up here a little ways is low, almost ground level. And he said he came across some people that were hiking in their Labradoodle, well, drowned. Went into that low spot and he chased after it trying to get it and couldn't get the dog, and the dog drowned. So he was warning me that there's a spot up here. Don't let the dog try to go in there to get water or go in there for a swim or something, because it's flowing fast and it's ice cold, and there goes dog. So that sounds like a horrible story. He talked about the dog getting flushed all the way out into the reservoir at the other end, and the family drove back from the other side of the mountains to retrieve the dog and give it a proper burial and all that stuff. So he said it's 110 years old. So, okay. This is the ice climbing. I think this is the ice climbing spot. So there's a valve in this super old building, I'm thinking, that lets water out down there. And that's where I've seen all this, just a big ice waterfall from the road down there. Still see the truck down there. Been more maintained, but look at, you know, that would have had the old glass insulators. I'm guessing all cedar. Nothing's trying to chew their way in there. Oh yeah, there's a valve to let the water out. Of course, it's got a big lock on it, because. And as I was just telling him, I think it's interesting that here I live almost in the rainforest, 100 inches of rain a year, but in the summertime I can go 60 days without any measurable rain. Well, on this side of the mountains, just an hour and a half away, this thing's 110 years old. They've been having to deliver water to their dry side of the mountains for 110 years and figure out how to do it. So in July and August, when I'm bone dry, all the grass is brown, everything's dying, forest fires everywhere. In the valley over here, which is more or less the desert, there's water flowing in all the ditches. Everybody's got green lawns. All the plants are doing fantastic. It's like driving into a lush oasis. You know, it may seem kind of counterintuitive. Oh, you know, global warming, or if things are drying out, you should go live somewhere where there's lots of moisture. Well, maybe the opposite's true. Maybe you should go live somewhere arid and dry, where they've already had to figure out how to move water around. Assuming that there's water to move around, that is. It's not like California where they got to get it thousands of miles or something to the population centers. Here, this runs 12 miles. He said this last winter they had a can't remember how big he said, but he said they did have a blowout. Somewhere where the cliff came down and they had to, redig it and bore back into the hillside, and he had some kind of big rock drill that he blows up and blasts the rock to. Super, super interesting. Oh, and he was also saying the spray paint cans I found that were yellow and I couldn't figure out what they were and they didn't match anything. He said there's some graffiti. Come on, Fern. So this is where, one of the places, the canal goes into the hillside. It's stamped 1909, and some concrete right back here. So there's a little trail over here. I think we might just walk a little bit, and I don't know how far through the hillside this goes, but maybe we should check it out, because 1909 sounds pretty cool, and I'm curious to see what's over there. So let's go see. Well, I walked, I don't know, 5 minutes or so kind of around the corner, and looks like the trail goes down around this cliff. And I'm guessing there's maybe a canal over there. Well, I don't know about you, but that was pretty epic, I think. The most epic part was discovering that not just it's still in use, but meeting that worker and them being so kind to probably spend 20 minutes yapping with me and answering all my stupid questions, and me being able to inform all of you guys about that. Last night, I was reading my book, Of Mountains and Men is the title, by William O. Douglas. Don't worry if I've referenced this book before, because I've been reading it for months, because I don't make that much time to read, would be the better way to say it. But his book last night referenced this spot right here. Actually, right out the window. See, there's kind of water coming out to the right. Okay, that's the Titan River meeting the Naches River. This spot right here, he references walking through in 1948, and that there was a herd of elk here, and that how rare that was because elk almost never come this low. And he talked about how much snow there was. He was trying to get up to a cabin up here. Junction of the Titan and Naches. Hey everybody, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. You guys want a property tour? I should probably show you at some point how this lets me live my other passions, and maybe how you could do something like this yourself, or give you some ideas for something. So, yeah, why don't we shoot one of those, shall we?